Hey guys, whether you're listening to us on SoundCloud or iTunes, thank you so much for checking out Crazy Love Stories.
Yes, thank you.
But if you're listening on an iPhone or an iPad or anything Apple, we have a special favor that we'd like to ask of you.
Give us a 5-star rating, please.
Please give us a 5-star rating and leave us a comment or write a review. That would really help us help you. And we want to continue helping you.
Help us help you.
Thanks.
From the New Perspectives headquarters in Washington, D.C., this is Crazy Love Stories.
So in love with you to the end of time. Hedge of protection in between the line. Nothing better than us. People wish that everlasting love made me a Democrat. Unconditional, but you get it that. Count on me, I'll be there. Gifted rap from God to become one and bodies touch to the morning sun.
Hello, this is Matthew.
And I'm Sasha, and you're listening to Crazy Love Stories.
In my therapy practice, I hear a lot of crazy stories.
And as a journalist, I've got to tell some of those stories.
We've got a great show for you today. I've just been dumped. How do I get my ex back?
And we have a little something special for those who are single and happy. And a new segment. You're going to want to stick around to listen to that. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. For more dating and relationship advice, check out New Perspectives by Matt Phifer. Visit his website at newperspectivesdating.com. What up? What up? I'm sorry.
That's a death stare.
Why
do you have Modelo
drinking
in the studio?
I've been drinking. I'm sorry. That's unprofessional.
Yeah, it is.
How's it going, Matthew?
What's going on?
Nothing much. You know, just chilling.
Just chilling. And I need to check my fantasy scores.
Nobody cares about football.
Everyone cares about football.
Nobody cares. Actually, I care. I care when you win.
Exactly, because I win money.
You're
right.
What? Undefeated.
No,
the last
I'm 5-1.
3 years?
I lost last week, so I'm 5-1. But yeah, I won the league 2 of the last 3 years.
Right. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Really,
you
proud
didn't
of
care.
honey.
You didn't care until that $1,000 rolled in.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I support your habits.
Mm-hmm. Only because I get paid.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So what else is going on in your world?
So I saw a meme that said, women who stay single longer end up the most happiest.
The most happiest.
Yeah. End up
Sorry,
happiest.
the journalist in me is
happier.
like, is that proper grammar?
End up happier.
So women who stay single the longest end up happier
right.
than everybody else. I can believe that.
Okay.
I mean, if they're being true to themselves, if they're being truthful, and they're not like really like low key upset or unhappy with their situation, but putting on a front, I don't see those women as very happy. Because I do know of single women who would rather not be single right now, actually are trying to do whatever is in their power to make themselves open and available for the right person to come along. So I don't know if I've come across that in my circle, but I mean, you're the expert. You tell me.
I think that it's only partially true.
Yeah.
Because people, I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before, but your brain actually doesn't fully develop until the age 25. You see that in a lot of couples who have gotten together at an early age. But what tends to happen with people who have been single for a long period of time is their skills start to get out of whack and out of control, especially if they're not dating and they don't stay on the social scene and they become a hermit. Then guess what? All of a sudden, not only are you single, but you have no prospects, no opportunity to find a mate, right? Which then also becomes a problem because then if your long-term goal is to find someone, then you start to become very unsatisfied because you've been single and because you're not really you don't have any opportunities out there. Right.
What is that? What does that single woman who is truly happy, what does that really look like?
I think that someone who's single and happy is someone that's well-rounded. That not only are you single, not only are you focused possibly on your career, focused on whatever you feel like your mission and your purpose is in life, but the social aspect is still there. The opportunity to meet someone is still there, possibly even dating. If you don't want to be in an exclusive relationship, that's fine. Wait until you're ready, or wait until you meet the right person. However, don't completely block that portion of your life out to where you have zero opportunity. Zero opportunity means that it's not gonna happen, or you're gonna run into one of these guys that you hear all the stories about, right? And because you can't recognize the difference between a good guy and a bad guy because your skills are so out of whack and outdated at that point, you're gonna fall for the first guy that gives you attention. So it's okay to be happy and alone and want your alone time and focus in on your career. But if your long-term goal is to be with someone, then you also need to make sure that your social skills stay in play, your dating skills stay in play as well. You just need to be upfront with all the guys that you're talking to and let them know, like, hey, I'm working on myself right now, but we're having fun. Right.
Yeah. Speaking of social skills, I think our social skills are getting even better. I know a couple episodes ago we talked about this struggle of finding another couple to hang out with. I think we're kind of still in our own zone, but I think I was checking out our calendar the other day, and I see that we
have a packed calendar.
We have a packed calendar. We do. Yeah. We have a shared calendar, which is life.
I feel like this is the first time I've seen you in a couple of weeks.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is the first time you see me in a few weeks, and I was really happy you took a day off yesterday. And we got some alone time.
Oh yeah,
and some kid time. Oh God, and some kid time. Shh, you don't have to tell them.
I didn't tell them nothing. I said alone time.
Gosh,
you're the one dropping the hints on what actually happened.
I'm not. I'm trying to move.
Notice she's giggling.
I'm trying to move past this part of the conversation, but whatever.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is...
You do have a bounce in your step this morning.
Shut up. Do you know my mom's listening to this? Jesus.
Hey, Mom. She had a bounce in her step this morning. That's all I'm going to say.
Anywho, my mom, who is busy in her own dating world, which we will talk about in another episode of the podcast.
Yep.
But I digress. Our calendar is popping again. We have some plans coming up soon with, other adults. I'm seeing other adults being put into our calendar, which is really exciting.
Right. You know the biggest change?
What?
We have friends now.
We have friends now.
Yeah, DC friends.
Yeah, local friends.
Yeah. For a while, it was just the fact that we had virtual friends, and we would just sit in our room and tweet people.
Right, call back to Toronto. Right. You call back to Dallas, or hit up your friends in Miami.
Yeah.
But now it's yay, we have it's full circle now. We have some local people that we can chill with. I mean, thankfully, I always had a local friend here. Right. My good girlfriend from high school lives only about an hour away, which is still pretty local here. So as long as you've got a car and some gas and, you can get there. But she's busy, I'm busy. So, we haven't spent that much time together, but it's good to know that she's close by.
Right.
So just kind of adding to that social circle. And we're not going to hang out with these people all the time, but it's nice as adults, as couples, to be like, hey, look, we have a free weekend next month. Let's see what's going on.
I've made friends with a couple of our neighbors, right? Some of them...
You're cooler with the neighbors than I am. Yeah. I feel kind of weird. I'll go outside. I'm walking Cyrus, and it's hi. But I feel like they're really your neighbor friends, and they're being nice to me because they're oh, it's the same dog. They recognize the dog.
Well, we have a crew. We have a dog walking crew because every single we're all on the same time schedule when it comes to walking the dog. The morning, afternoon. Most people here, use their lunch break to take their dog out. So I pretty much see them morning, afternoon, and in the evening.
And because I constantly dodge walking the dog,
right, and
I somehow lately have been stuck with the evening shift.
Yep.
I don't know how that happened, but. They kind of give me the pity hello, hey, but they really want to be where's Matt?
Right. And they all like football. They all like basketball and baseball, so we have a lot to talk about.
And our conversations are real quick. Right. It's oh, hi, yeah, can our dog sniff your dog for a second? Right. Bye.
Exactly. Hey guys, this is Matthew, and we're adding a new segment to the show that I'm really excited about called Ask Matt, where I respond to listeners who have sent us emails with their burning questions. This week's question comes from Jill in Denver, and she writes, Matthew, I feel disrespected by my fiance's friends, and he says and does nothing about it. I've seen messages where they allude to me as his quote-unquote crazy girlfriend, and he lets it slide. When we go out together and his friends are there, I feel like I am constantly the butt of the joke. What should I do? Well, Jill, let me first of all say that I'm sorry that that's happening to you. It can be very frustrating when you're being disrespected by anyone's friends or anyone's family, in particular when this is someone that you're looking to spend the rest of your life with. And, we've talked about this before where not only are those his friends, but they should be becoming your friends. Now, with that being said, with them calling you a crazy girlfriend and even with the fact that we have some documentation that you are going through his phone and things of that nature, I have to ask you if there is any truth behind you, quote unquote, being a crazy girlfriend, going through his phone and being kind of needy and clingy. And is there anything that could validate their feelings towards you being a crazy girlfriend? Now, that does not give your fiance a break. However, if you're acting very needy and clingy towards your fiance when he's out with his friends and also when you're out with him, not giving him his proper space, that could lead to them treating you or talking about you the way that they have. So number one, I would back off. I would back up once your fiance is out with and having guys' night, I would give him his space. Make sure that you're not texting him, not calling him. When he's out, just allow for him to be out. Number two, I would have a conversation with your fiance, because regardless if you've been acting crazy, if you've been acting needy and clingy or not, you're 100% right. They should not be treating you or talking about you that way, and he should stand up for you. And the fact that he's not is a huge problem. So you need to have a conversation with your fiance that, for example, when you guys go out and talk to him and give him specific examples of times that you felt like you were the butt of the joke. And I would even take him one step forward that if he doesn't do anything about it, that maybe you should bow out and you should leave that event, right? And that's something that possibly would wake him up to let him know that not only that this bothers you, but that you're serious enough to actually leave the event if people continue to make fun of you. The other thing is that even though this is a problem that you have negative feelings towards, this is actually also a problem for him. This is something that he needs to address. You should not be addressing his friends or his family. This is a situation that he needs to be addressing these people. So thanks for writing in. If anyone else has any questions that they want to ask me directly, make sure you write us to crazylovestories@gmail.com and address it Ask Matthew. Thanks.
So today we have a very interesting topic.
Yeah, we do.
One that...
It's one of my favorites, actually.
It is? Is it one of your favorites?
In session, it's actually one of my favorites.
You know what? I was looking at your website the other day, and it's kind of right up there on the top on the homepage.
This is something I pride myself in, actually.
Trying to get your ex back?
Yep.
Here's what you do.
Absolutely.
Or not do.
Right.
Or don't do. So, yeah, I mean, I want my ex back.
You do?
That's
really?
No.
Okay.
No, not me.
Oh, the title of the...
the title of the podcast.
All right.
The reason they tuned in, remember?
I gotcha. Okay.
So what's up with that? Why are we talking about that?
Well, I think it's a very common theme. People will realize after a breakup the severity of what they might have contributed to a relationship, and they realize like, hey, I might have been wrong on this, and not only that, but not only am I willing to change, but I miss my boyfriend, I miss my girlfriend. So
this information, though, it's important to know. This is for the person who was dumped, or the person who did the dumping? This is the dumpee. Yep. The person who was dumped.
So I have been dumped, and I want that person back.
I have been dumped, and I want that person back. Now, how much time has passed here? Like, is this soon after?
I would say soon after. I would say the days, weeks, maybe months leading after. No, I would not say like if you've been broken up for a year, 5 years, something like that, this is not for you.
Give it
Sorry.
up.
Yep. That ship has sailed.
Yeah. So this is more like sooner after, within, at least within the year.
Right.
And a significant relationship, right? Not just someone you were dating that you're like, I want to give it another
For sure.
chance.
Yeah. I want to make this very clear that this is an exclusive relationship, that you were with this person for several weeks, several months, or even several years. This is not, I was dating other people, he was dating other people, and we weren't quite exclusive. This is not that type of situation.
Okay, that's important to know.
Right.
So, I mean, I would wonder, first of all, like, why did you break up? That would kind of be one of the first questions that I would...
That's an important thing. And one of the things that I always ask people when they're in session and they're trying to get an ex back or trying to get a spouse back. So I need to be clear about that too. This is, I hear a lot of people that they're going through a separation or a possible divorce and their significant other leaves, right? When that happens and you're asking yourself why and you're kind of doing some self-reflecting work, you need to analyze if there was any abuse. Obviously, physical abuse, any type of emotional abuse, anything of that nature. I don't care how bad you miss that person, just let it go. You will miss them. I promise that, and I guarantee that. However, you will get over it, and you need to get over it because no one should live up, and no one should live through, and no one should put up with any type of abuse. So I want to make that very clear.
That's physical, that's emotional.
Right. If there's a lot of name calling, I'm not talking about the one time like where you guys had one blowout. I mean, emotions fly. But when there's a constant theme where like every couple of days or weeks they're calling you names, putting you down, trying to keep control over you.
Yeah.
That's, then let that person go. However, if your relationship was healthy for the majority of the time and things just kind of got out of whack, this is what will work for you.
So you want to start dating again, or you want to keep up with the dating lifestyle, but one thing's for sure, dating ain't cheap. I mean, rule number 1, you gotta look fly, and number 2, you need money to spend on these dates. Well, enter Uber. The super convenient ride-sharing app is a flexible gig that helps you put extra money in your pocket on your terms. Drive after your day job, or put in some hours on the weekends when you have free time. The best part? You get instant pay. Drive on Friday night, get paid Friday night. It's a no-brainer. Sign up to become an Uber driver today. Use the code MATP22738UE when you sign up to be an Uber driver and get up to $350 just for being a Crazy Love Stories listener.
So if it wasn't abuse
Right.
of any kind, and it wasn't, it wasn't anything where, the cops were called
Right.
and something real dramatic, and just, more of a natural breakup where maybe they grew apart or, whatever, maybe there was infidelity, something else. What kind of advice do you give someone at that point?
So someone at that point where it's more of a natural breakup and they are looking to I like to call it re-attracting an ex, because a lot of times you've done something that has turned that person off. So to re-attract them, first of all, you need to no contact. I hear way too much where I hear this story way too many times where someone comes in or they're talking to me and they tell me about how much they're talking to the person, and they tell me a story of talking to this person basically all day, every day, calling them. They're still hanging out. They're still having sex. They are still living or still acting as if they're together. Or the person is gone and the dumpee is still chasing and pursuing, still asking them out, still doing everything that they're doing something. They're trying to take action. And I'm here to tell you that is absolutely 100% the wrong approach. People are attracted to things that they don't have. 85% of people, while online, go back to look up their ex. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because everyone tends to, it's a natural reaction for us to always look back at a past relationship with a pair of rose-colored glasses.
Right.
So pulling back and not giving that person any type of contact, right? It's going to, drive them up a wall, right? Because everyone's natural reaction when they're the dumper is that they're already thinking about how you're going to continue to chase them, right? And chase them down and pursue them.
Right. They feel like they have the upper hand right away, right? Because, I mean, they kind of did. They dumped you, right?
However, and also because of that, and because in their past relationships, more than likely, everyone else has always chased them. However, one of the things that we've talked about here and on this podcast multiple times is that I want my listeners and I want people who work with me in session to present themselves differently, where in the back of this person's mind, they're like, this is different, right? Where you kind of get that look like, like what's going on, right? And all of a sudden you spark a thought in their mind, right? And the quickest way to get someone's attention is to remove yours. So when you remove your attention from them, guess what? They're going to be, it might take a couple of days, might even take a couple of weeks. But I've promised every single person in session, promised every single time, and it has worked 100% of the time.
Well, ladies talk about that amongst themselves anyway.
Right.
We're always like, oh, they always come back. I don't know if it happens for men where, you say the same thing, like women always come back.
No, they always come around back. 100%.
But men always come back.
Everyone always comes back. However, this is where it's going to be a little bit different. So we know that people are going to come back. But what you do before they come back is very vital and very key. Because you broke up for a reason. You broke up because things weren't 100% right. Right? And the problem is that during that time period where there was some separation, there was no self-reflection. Everyone always thinks that I'm the one that was right. The dumper thinks I'm right. The dumpee also thinks that I'm right. When both of you were responsible for the breakup, one or both people had a problem or had an issue with something that was going on, and both people decided to ignore the situation or the root at hand or the root issue.
Right.
And decided to continue and to keep on with the relationship as if nothing was going to happen. Well, guess what? Now you're broken up. Well, during that self-reflection, you need to look at and you need to analyze how did I participate in this breakup? What are my responsibilities? What did I do wrong here? Right? Not only do you need to know that for that possible relationship, you need to know that for future possible relationships.
Right. You need to not repeat the same cycle, whether it is that you're going back to that same person or you're moving on to someone new. You should always do some type of self-reflection.
Right, because I can guarantee you that theme will repeat itself somewhere down the line, either with your ex once you reattract them or with somebody else.
But you know that some people do legit do not think that they've done anything wrong.
Right.
And they think that it's the other person.
Right.
It's them, not me.
I don't care what the situation is. There is something that you could have done better 100% of the time. And that's probably the most frustrating thing for people that I work with, when I have to point out some of the blame some responsibility that they can take. And, because they come in and they think they're just going to vent to me and I'm just going to listen and be like, girl, yeah. I
get rid of him, girl. Dump him.
And when I'm very quick to point out, like, hey, listen, like you could have done this a little bit differently, and you would have had some different results. But with that being said, while during that separation, not only do you need to do some self-reflection, but you also need to get out. You also need to get out. You need to get with your friends. You need to live life. Don't sit. Give yourself some time to grieve the relationship. Everyone's going to cry. Everyone's going to need that time to themselves and grieve. People think of the word grieving and the grieving process when it comes to someone passing away. That's only partially true. It's also with relationships as well. Right.
Some people, you mentioned earlier the example of the ex-couple that, is broken up for whatever reason, but they're still sort of, hanging on. They're still hanging out. Mm-hmm. They're still having sex. They're still talking all the time. Mm-hmm. It made me think right away of someone I know who recently went through a very similar situation with her longtime partner. I think maybe 5 or 6 years. But I do remember something that she said, it's like, we love each other. We love and adore each other. The sex is obviously great. And that's was something that, neither wanted to let go of. She's like, but I'm just hoping that, in this time he'll change. I'm hoping that he'll become the man that I want him to be.
It'll never happen.
Okay.
It'll never happen.
Yeah. So that's why she's like hanging on still, and they're still kind of having the conversations. The last time I spoke to her, she did kind of like push him away a little bit. I think the physical contact has stopped, but they're still talking.
So let me ask you this. So if you and I broke up, right, you wouldn't be that crazy, but if that happened...
Oh, please. I was actually just thinking, wow, the possibilities. No, I'm kidding.
If that happened, right, and we were still acting as if everything was normal, what reason at that point do I have to change?
Right, because I'm not making you...
I have all the benefits.
I'm not challenging you to...
I have all the benefits of us being together.
That is true.
Right?
Yeah.
We're still having sex, and we're still visiting each other, we're still talking just as much as we did before. Why do I need to change?
And it's important to know, this is a couple with no kids. So there's nothing tying them together. Right. There's no like, oh, John has soccer on Sunday and he has to come to the game. I have to go to the game. Like, there's no reason why you actually need to see each other. You don't even live in the same city anymore.
When it comes to, so with this no contact, eventually they are going to reach back out, either via text, via phone call. It's usually something stupid like, I say stupid, but everyone's done it.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss you. Can't stop thinking about you. Right. I was talking to someone today, and it's funny. Every single person that I talked to initially, they're like, this person is so stubborn that they will not call or text me. And I keep telling people, trust me, they will. Just pull back. And they don't believe it, and then it happens, and then they call or text me with shock. And they're like, I cannot believe, like my eyes, I can't believe that you're right about this because this person is so hard-headed. Mm-hmm. So they will text you initially, missing you, thinking about you, basically creating that bridge.
Or try to slide in with like some like inside joke. Mm-hmm. Like, LOL, was just seeing so-and-so on the television, thought of you.
So you want to treat this as if what I tell you guys to do when you're very first dating people, you want to get to know people in person, not over the phone, not through text message. So you're not going to text each other your feelings back and forth. You're not going to talk on the phone all night about your feelings or anything like that. You're going to meet in person.
So even though there's that familiarity there where, this is actually a person that you just dated, or were married to for a number of years.
But you're broken up.
You're broken up.
Different story, different scenario, and you're not meeting in the bedroom at your place or his place or anything like that. You're going on a date. You're going somewhere. You guys are having fun. You guys are hanging out. You guys are having fun. Keep in mind, you are the Dumpee. So you're reintroducing some of the fun that may have and probably has been lost in the relationship. Reattracting, right? Allow for that person to bring up some of their feelings and some of the things that have happened, right? And then at that point in time, the two of you can talk about ways that you guys can make things different, right? This is where it becomes very vital and very important to be very practical. You don't want to just talk about getting back together just because you love each other. That's not enough. One of the best pieces of advice that I've ever gotten is that love is not enough. Wow. It's very, very true. It's very, very true. It's very, very powerful. You can love someone all you want. I don't even care if you miss this person. If you don't have some practical knowledge of what the two of you are going to do different, how you're going to meet his needs and how he's going to meet yours, then it's done anyway.
Let's just sit in that for a second. Love is not enough.
Love is not enough.
It's not.
Mm-mm. Love does not pay bills. Love does not necessarily take care of the kids. Love does not get up and go to work. There's more to being in love than just being in love.
There's more to a relationship than just being in love. Mm-hmm. More to making it work than just being in love. What about I'm going to ask you this. What about the Dumpee wanting to get back with an ex that unfortunately has already moved on?
That's tough. And that's a tough conversation to have with people at times. Because here's the thing about someone that has already moved on, is that it probably started before the two of you have, if we're talking about like, you know, within a couple of weeks, it probably started before, not saying that the person cheated, but the person at the very least had this person in mind and was probably turned off by you for a while. What happens very often is that some people want to break up. You know, the guy that's way too nice or the girl that's way too nice. A lot of times they want to break up, but they don't want to do it until they have another soft place to land, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people are so insecure that they don't want to leave one until they have another person lined up. In those type of situations, I would say walk away. The reason being is that if the person isn't comfortable enough to tell you ways that you can fix the dynamic of your relationship, then your relationship was doomed anyway. And as hard and as tough as it is, you just have to walk away. And what would end up happening is that they're going to end up doing that to the next person anyway. And you don't want to be that next person. I
noticed a thread throughout this entire conversation, which was the self-reflection. You kind of kept circling back to that. How important is that piece, whether or not you decide to get back with this person?
It's vital. It's vital. It's very key. Maybe you have grown apart. Maybe the breakup is happening for a reason. And you don't want to get back with someone just because you miss them. Just because you miss them doesn't mean that you belong together. Your feelings and your emotions are going to go crazy. You're going to crave them physically. You're going to crave them emotionally. You're going to crave them spiritually. But as time goes on, you will heal. The problem, though, is that we have too many people that start a cycle of getting together, breaking up, getting together, breaking up, that either A, they don't want to change, or B, they have no business being together anyway, because their lifelong goals don't match, their ambitions don't match, and neither one of them truly actually want to change. They just don't want to be alone.
You just got to ask yourself, is is all of this worth getting back together?
Right. Exactly.
Does it make sense?
Do you have anything to build off of outside of the bedroom, outside of being together and just hanging out and laughing? You can find some of those things in a lot of different people. There's actually a myth of the one. That's not truly a thing. There is one. I like to call it one of many. So just because you might have thought that person might have been the one, there's probably someone else out there that is either A, just as good or even better for you. But you have to take that time to self-reflect, to heal, and analyze. And the other thing about it is that you want, when the dumper comes back, you want to be in a position of power. Most of the time, the dumpee comes back in a position of weakness and just begging for the person back.
Right. They were chasing to begin with, and then now they're just, begging.
And that's going to turn the dumper off.
Right.
B, even if they do take you back, it's usually out of pity or loneliness anyway, which you don't want either one of them. For it to work long term, both people need to come back humble yet strengthened. Right, the dumper has probably had some time to reflect. The dumpee now has had time to reflect, and it's like, hey, okay, like these are the things that we're going to do different. I'm sorry. Whatever apology, goes on from there, and then you're able to move forward.
Like the music you're hearing? Check out Jordan J. River on SoundCloud. Our cover art was designed by Kashta Media. Listen to crazy love stories on SoundCloud and iTunes. And don't forget to subscribe.
Because what? Love is not enough.
Mm-mm.